Hi, my name's Musa. I'm a coach at E20. Um, and yeah, welcome to the first ISO Read football story session. Today we're going to read Jamie Johnson, Born to Play by Dan Freedman. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Full screen. Yeah. Chapter 1, Over His Head. Thursday, 14th of October. The ball was in the air. Jamie had his back to the goal. He knew he had to try. If he pulled it off, if he scored with an overhead kick in front of everyone in the playground, Jamie Johnson knew it'd be one of the best moments of his life. It would shut up Brian Statton and Tyler Forbes for days, and it would prove once and for all that he was easily the best player in the whole of Year 7. Although he had all the other skills, Jamie had never done a proper overhead kick before, but he knew he had to give it a go. Now, Jamie kept his eyes on the ball as it seemed to hover above his shoulder. Then he launched his body into the air to meet it. Jamie flew high above the hard cement of the playground, his body soaring towards its target. In the air, he snapped his legs back over his head in a scissor-like motion, just as he'd seen the best players do on TV. He closed his eyes and waited for the contact with the ball. He wanted to hammer it home. He waited and hoped for the sweet sensation of the perfect strike. But it didn't come. He felt his left foot barely scuff the side of the ball, slicing it sideways. And now, gravity played its part, dragging Jamie back down to earth with alarming speed. Jamie crashed back down onto the gravel with a loud, wet, painful thud. His mind screamed with anger, while his body stung with the pain. The entire layer of skin on Jamie's kneecap had been scraped off. The blood from his gravel-filled knee started to spill through the hole in his trousers. Jamie Johnson was going to be a big star one day. He just knew it. He wanted to be a professional footballer when he grew up. And not just any old professional footballer. He wanted to be the best. He wanted everyone in the world to know who Jamie Johnson was. And sometimes, if he closed his eyes and concentrated hard enough, he could already imagine the fans singing his name. One Jamie Johnson, and only one Jamie Johnson. But that was not the song that the other boys were singing in the playground today. Instead, as Jamie wiped his dirty, wet hands down his bloody trousers, Brian Statton and Tyler Forbes were singing, he's small, he's thick, he can't do overhead kicks, he's Jamie Johnson, Jamie Johnson. This was easily the second most embarrassing moment of Jamie's life. The only time that beat it was the day when, at his primary school, Wheatlands, he had wet himself at the end of assembly, in front of the whole school. That was horrendous, but this wasn't far behind. Jamie didn't mind looking like a fool in lessons or people taking the mickey out of him for wearing old clothes, but he had never thought the day would come where people would tease him about how he played football. He wanted people to think of him as a football genius. But right now, he looked like a football chump. These matches at break time were the most important part of the day for all the footballers at school. If you were on the winning side, you were the king for the rest of the day. If you lost, you knew you wouldn't be allowed to forget it. Brian Statton, and Tyler Forbes, the two biggest boys in Jamie's year, always made sure that they were on the same side in break. And they never picked Jamie, ever. It wasn't because he wasn't good enough. In fact, it was the exact opposite. It was because Jamie was the best player in the whole year that they had it in for him. Forget about him, said Hugo Boxing, the only real friend that Jamie had made at the Grove so far, helping Jamie up. They're idiots. Thanks, said Jamie, carefully avoiding Hugo's outstretched hand, which was filthy. They were mates, and Jamie appreciated Hugo sticking up for him, but he also knew that Hugo was one of the dirtiest people he'd ever met. Jamie always tried not to touch him directly. Still, no matter how weird Hugo Boxing was, he wasn't ever horrible to other kids in the way that Brian and Tyler were. In fact, Jamie had never seen Hugo be mean to anyone, and that's what Jamie liked about him. Chapter 2, Wish List. It took Jamie ages to get home from school. He missed the bus and had to stand waiting in the rain for 20 minutes for the next one to come. He was drenched to the bone by the time he got in. Some of the other kids called their mums and got lifts home, but Jamie couldn't do that. His mum was on a late shift at the hospital. She wouldn't be home until 10. And anyway, even if she was home, she couldn't have given him a lift. Her car was broken. He'd just been sitting uselessly in the drive for the last 6 months, and now it was going to cost way too much to fix. Sometimes, Jamie felt sorry for his mum. It was a horrible feeling to have. He knew you shouldn't feel sorry for your parents. Jamie wondered how he would feel if his mum got married again. Loads of kids at school hated their stepdads, but Jamie wouldn't mind. He just wanted his mum to be happy. If she wanted to get married again, that would be fine by Jamie, as long as the bloke was a Hawkstone United fan. That would be his only demand. Jamie put the chicken and noodles his mum had left him into the microwave and turned it on to full power. Then he checked the time, 8:18 p.m. His granddad might be over soon to check he was okay. He always did that when Jamie's mum was working. It was cool. They just watched TV together and might let Jamie watch whatever he wanted. In a way, it was good that Jamie's mum wasn't home. If she had been, Jamie would have to explain the state his trousers were in, and then his mum would have got angry about buying a new one. "We're not exactly rolling in it, Jamie," he could imagine her saying. While his dinner was cooking, Jamie ripped a piece of paper from the pad next to the phone and sat down on a stool in the kitchen. He began to write down his wish list of things that he wanted to happen in his life. Jamie Johnson, 10 things I want, written on October the 14th. Age 11 and a half, nearly. Number 1, to do proper overhead kicks. 2, to be rich when I'm older. 3, new shin pads, mine are finished. Every kick kills my shins. 4, a younger brother so I can teach him football and other stuff. 5, to buy a new car for my mum. 6, to learn Taekwondo off Jack so no one messes with me. 7, have big muscles, including a 6-pack. 8, to be really famous so everyone knows me. 9, to be a professional footballer. The ping of the microwave went before Jamie had written down number 10. He'd filled that one in another time. Plus, if he could achieve number 9, then nothing else would matter anyway. If he became a professional footballer, Jamie Johnson would have everything he wanted. That night, as he got into bed and turned out his light, Jamie's mood darkened. He'd had a good evening with Mike, but now, just as he wanted to get to sleep, he began to feel unsettled. His thoughts and worries were swimming like evil sharks around his mind. He tried to fend them off by focusing on good things like football. He asked himself questions. How much money would his favourite team, Hawkstone United, spend in the next transfer window? What would his top world 11 be? Normally, football kept the bad feelings away, but tonight it was no good. The negative thoughts were taking over his brain. Why did his life have to be so hard? Why couldn't he have a nice, easy life like the other kids? 2 parents and a car that worked. Was that too much for us all? Jamie didn't want to go to school next day. He didn't want to be the butt of any more jokes. He didn't even want to be Jamie Johnson anymore. Maybe he should give up playing football and do sprinting instead. The athletics coach at school had said that he was quick enough to be a professional sprinter. that if he trained hard, he could go to the Olympics. But athletics wasn't Jamie's sport. He loved football. He always would. And Brian and Tyler were trying to stop Jamie doing what he loved most. The wind was tapping angrily at Jamie's window now. Jamie could almost hear it whistling, taunting him, just like the others had done in the playground. He's short, he's sad, he doesn't have a dad. He's Jamie Johnson, Jamie Johnson. As he pulled a duvet tight around himself, Jamie felt the string of a tear prick the corner. A string of a tear pricked the corner of his eye. But as he wiped it away, a surge of determination sprang up inside him. He knew exactly why Brian and Tyler targeted him. Jamie played left wing in the girls' school team, and left wing was Tyler Ford's position too. So, as long as Jamie was playing, Tyler couldn't get in the team. He and Brian, being best mates, had made a plan to try to get Jamie out, to try to stop him playing football altogether. Jamie's granddad, Mike, had warned him this would happen, and that he would always be a target for people who weren't as good as him. They were jealous of his talent. They were jealous because they wished they could do the things with a football that Jamie could. Never give up, Mike had always told him. Just keep coming back for more. And if someone ever tries to make you feel small, you stand up for yourself. Jamie turned over and clenched his fist into his chest. Brian and Tyler wanted to stop him doing what he did best. They wanted to stop him playing, but Jamie wouldn't let them. No one would ever stop him playing football. It was time for Jamie to stand up for himself. So that's where we're going to end it for this week's session. But thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. Ice Read has been facing a couple of issues here and there. We are trialing it consistently. And just another bump in the road seems to come up. So we're just going to try and make sure we sort that out. And hopefully by next Tuesday, we can get live interactive sessions going. But in the case that that doesn't happen, I and the other coaches will make sure that we are trying to get content out to you guys every week. So yeah, make sure to keep updating and posting about that. And you will definitely be seeing other coaches as well here and there. And maybe even other kids as well from E20 Football Foundation. So thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for bearing with ICRE. I'm sure we'll be back again. So see you next week. Take it easy. Stay safe.